Would you like to make a gorgeous winter wreath that's green and white and looks something like that? That is what we're doing today. We're using 21-inch Deco mesh and the poof method. Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to DIY with Nadia. My co-host today is my sweet Simba, and I am Nadia. Today's video is super special because it's part of the winter wreathathon. In this wreathathon, these are my friends who are participating. I know you recognize some of them, but if you don't, I'm going to have all of their channels in the description box below, along with the playlist link. After watching this video, you can click on this playlist link and watch all of the winter wreaths that my friends have made. As for Simba and myself, we are ready to get started on our beautiful winter poof wreath, but I'm also going to grab a cup of tea and enjoy watching the rest of the gorgeous wreaths my friends have made. Let's go over the supplies for this wreath. I'm going to start with this gorgeous Deco mesh. This is a roll that's 21 inches in width and 10 yards in length. This Deco mesh is unique because it is the eyelash Deco mesh. As you can see, it does have some foiling through it. It is a bit on the sheer side, but we're going to make sure our wreath is going to look gorgeous. I'm also going to be using this decorative mesh. It is dark green with a snow effect on it. For our ribbon, I'm going to be using a Costco roll. This one is 2.5 inches in width. It is wired and it is white stripes with this iridescence in between. It's really stunning. By the way, all the supplies and where I have purchased them is always listed in the description box below. We're going to need some pipe cleaners. For the sign, I'm going to be using this absolutely gorgeous snowman, and I love the fact that we have two main colors to play with, and that's green, dark and light, and of course white. For a little bit of whimsy, I'm going to be using these adorable pom-poms, and they have iridescent threads throughout. I think they're going to work perfect with this wreath. For my wreath base, I'm going to be using a metal 14-inch wreath form. We're going to need 18 pipe cleaners, and lately I have been asked why I do not put my 6 pipe cleaners that are on the inside on these intersections. So you know what? That's what we're going to do today. But you know what? The bottom line is we're going to need 6 on the inside and 12 on the outside. It really doesn't matter how you attach them because the pipe cleaners on the outer rows are going to be floating anyway. I usually attach my pipe cleaners by using 2 rows. So for this inner row, I'm going to be using rows 1 and 2. And for the outer row, I'm going to be using rows 3 and 4. Going to give this 2 twists in the center. And I'm going to face the pipe cleaners towards the inside of our wreath. Let's get the second one. I'm going to repeat the same thing going all the way around right on the intersection. If you have more than 6 little sections, just make sure you spread the pipe cleaners out evenly and you have 6 facing towards the inside. The inner row is done. Let's work on the outer row, and all I'm going to do is put 2 pipe cleaners on rows 2 and 3 in between each of the pipe cleaners. There goes one, and face it out, and there's the other, and face it out. My goal here is to make sure that they are spread more or less evenly. So that is exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to go all the way around, attaching the rest of my 12 pipe cleaners to the outside of our wreath base. As I'm putting my last pipe cleaner on, look who came to visit. Hi, Rocky. I know, Mom's back at work, making a wreath again. My friends, this cat loves to eat. That's all I got to say. Our 18 pipe cleaners are on, 6 on the inside and 12 on the outside. Your wreath form should look something like this. Before we get started, I grabbed 3 zip ties. This part is very optional, but I do always use it. And we're going to work in a spiral, meaning we're going to do the inside of the wreath and then make our way out. The first thing I'm going to do is gather my deco mesh about 2 inches in. Grabbing my first pipe cleaner, I'm going to put my tail in and give my pipe cleaner a good twist. Now I'm going to grab a zip tie and go underneath row 2. And then about 1/2 inch to 1 inch from the connection of my pipe cleaner, I'm going to attach the zip tie. Nice and tight, cut the tail off. Step 1 is to go around and make 10-inch loops going to each of the pipe cleaners. I like to do this holding my deco mesh nice and taut. There we go. There's my 10-inch and attach. Oh, we have a little help on the side. The next 10 inches and attach. I'm twisting my pipe cleaners only once because we are going to go around this inner row one more time. Making my last 10-inch pouf. I'm going to untwist. As you can see, by this time, our deco mesh does have memory. Let's twist this again one more time because we're going to come back to this spot. Even though we're using a 21-inch deco mesh, this is an eyelash deco mesh. So we are going to do one more row on this inner row, and this is going to help fill that space in. And the way I like to do it is I'm going to push these poufs down, make my 10-inch loop, put the new pouf right next to the old one, and that's going to give us a nice full pouf. It's going to fill everything in, 2 nice twists, since the next thing that's going to go on this pipe cleaner is the ribbon. 10 inches, move our little pouf, undo, slide this one in, 2 tight twists with the pipe cleaners. I'm on my last pouf on that inner row. To go on my outer row, I'm going to focus on the pipe cleaner that's closer, whichever way you're going, counterclockwise or clockwise. Go to the next nearest pipe cleaner on the outer row. For me, it's this little guy. After I attach my deco mesh to this pipe cleaner, I'm going to grab a second zip tie and go ahead and zip tie in between the inner row and the outer row on this little section. I'm going to zip tie this piece, and that's on row 3. When I do this, it holds this pipe cleaner in place. So when I make poufs going all the way around, that's going to hold the poufs in place. As you can see, none of my pipe cleaners are attached with hot glue. I just go this route and I never have issues with my wreaths moving. Since I know I have plenty of deco mesh left for this entire wreath, I decided to go up to 11 inches and make these poufs nice and full. This is going to give me just a little bit more deco mesh in each pouf, especially because we are dealing with the eyelash deco mesh. We are going around the outer row only once. Final 11-inch pouf. Let's cut off the tail. As I'm attaching it, I'm making sure that the tail is going in between the inner and outer row. 2 nice twists. And then I'm pushing the tail towards the back of the wreath, grabbing my third zip tie and attaching it to row 3. The rest of the tail I'm just going to push back. You can definitely leave your wreath like this if you would like, but I am going to open it up because when you open up your wreath, you definitely soften it. I also feel that when you poof the deco mesh out, it creates more of these unusual ripples in the deco mesh itself, and it helps cover a little bit more of the background. As you can see, this deco mesh covered fairly well, and we still have ribbon to attach. I'm going to be cutting my 2.5-inch ribbon into 11-inch strips, zigzagging this ribbon until I get 18 pieces. Let's cut it off. And then we're going to fold the ends and make a dovetail. We're going to do this to both sides of the ribbon. And look how pretty that turns out and saves you a lot of time. Now it's time to cut our decorative mesh, and the first thing is to find where it starts. Oh, I think I found it. There we go. I had the hardest time with it. Now that we have that, we're going to also measure at 11 inches. And for decorative mesh, I always use my rotary cutter. It's so easy. I'm cutting it at 11 inches. And by the way, I love this cutter. It comes in so many colors and super affordable. I always have the link to this rotary cutter in all my videos under my Wreath supplies, but I'll bring it up a little bit higher so you can find it. We're going to need 18 pieces of this decorative mesh. That usually means 2 rolls. Let's bring in our ribbon. What we're going to do is first grab our decorative mesh and then our ribbon. After layering the ribbon on top, I'm just going to go in the center and collect it. When you see this mesh on top of this wreath, it's going to blend in. Of course it is. When you look up close, it's going to give it just a little bit of that snow effect. Since this is a winter wreath, we want to bring that out a little bit. At this point, I'm just twisting the pipe cleaner up, cut off a tail, leaving about 1 inch of the pipe cleaner so we can just fold it and fold it behind. Since we're using a 2.5 inch ribbon, I thought it was going to be enough just to use one, but if you would like, you can definitely use a second one and just fold one going left to right and the other one top to bottom so you have a little flower. But I feel like we're going to just have a lot of these pieces right on top of each other as it is. I'm also going to take this mesh in the back and bring it to the side so you can see a little bit more of the snow. And so your ribbon bundle is going to bring in the white from the snow and then this gorgeous iridescence. Every time you bring in pieces like this mesh, it adds a little bit of elegance and softness to your wreath. Now I'm just going to go around to the remaining pipe cleaners and do the exact same thing. By the way, this is how I measure my ribbon. Just put it smack in the center and collect it. Attach it. Twist the pipe cleaners up about 1 inch. Cut it off. Fold the pipe cleaner and then fold it behind. Bring out the decorative mesh with the beautiful little snow. I'm going to finish up the remaining ribbon bundles. All the ribbon and decorative mesh is on. Now I'm going to grab a floral wire and cut 2 pieces that are about 12 inches in length. This snowman is seriously the cutest. Let's put the wire on. Give it a few twists in the back. Let's put this on. I'm pulling all the ribbon out before I attach. We can play with that a little later. How adorable. Give it 1 twist on this side, 1 twist on this side. Adjust the snowman, see if we need to go in a little bit. I think it's centered quite nicely. Twist up the floral wire and attach it to the wreath base. Making sure I know where the top of the wreath is, I'm going to flip and attach my jute cord. When I'm measuring my jute cord, I like to go 1 inch below the outside border, about there, and make a little knot. I'm going to bring that hanging loop through the front with the knot in the back. We have our hanging loop. Now we can make sure the ribbon is where we want it to be. I decided the ribbon that is on that inner row, we're going to put it sideways. That way we're going to make a little bit of a border around our snowman. And we're not going to cover this poor little guy because this sign is only 8 inches in width. Looking very, very cute. And of course the decorative mesh, we're going to pull it back a little bit so we can cover the sides. I have a little tip how to make your wreath look a little bit on the bigger side. When you have your ribbon bundles, make sure that the ribbon piece that's going towards the outside is not folded back. Straighten it out, my friends. And then the one going towards the inside, fold it so that we can see the beautiful ribbon. So another one, we're going to pull it up, then make it go straight. And this part right here, we're going to fold down. At this point, I can definitely stop, but I am going to bring in the little pom-poms. I'm bringing in these pom-poms for a few reasons. Number 1, the iridescent little threads are going to work beautifully with the ribbon. Number 2, it's going to help me fill in those little blanks that I have throughout the wreath. And number 3, this is a winter wreath, so having a little bit of snow clusters here and there can only enhance this wreath. Give it a little bit of hot glue and hold it in place for a few seconds for the deco mesh to catch the pom-pom, and that's it. This does not need to be strategic. I'm going to maybe throw one here to cover that piece of wire. I did want to mention that this is a lot of fun. As I'm finishing up this wreath, after you're done watching this video, don't forget to hit that link to watch the remaining participants in this wreathathon. And by the way, these folks are the top of the top in the wreath making community here on YouTube. So it is worth seeing the amazing winter wreath that all of them made. I will also put the link in the comment and pin it so that it's easy for you to find. For more wreath tutorials like this for pretty much every season, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the playlist or the video little tab on my channel. There you can find many previous wreaths I have done over the past few years I've been here on YouTube. Now it's time for Simba to give me a high five, and we will see you in our next video. Bye guys. Mwah. Yes, high five.